You're on.
I'm going to call our meeting to order. It is 7:01. Call the roll.
Yep. Ginger Riddle.
Here.
Jeanette LeBee Holdeman.
Here.
Brian Payne.
Here.
Jerry Geese.
Here.
Nancy McDougall.
Here.
Richard Hannon.
Present.
Mike Swazo is absent.
We have a quorum, so we'll start our business. And our first item on the agenda is the approval of last month's minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read them? And do you have questions, changes, spelling errors, anything? Nothing? How about a motion to approve? Or
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from last month. Let's call the roll, please.
Ginger Riddle.
Yes.
Jeanette LeBee Holdeman.
Yes.
Brian Payne. Yes. Jerry Geese.
Yes.
Nancy McDougall.
Yes.
Richard Hannon.
The second item on the agenda is the only item on our agenda. It's a public hearing on Monroe Manor rezone. You'll recall that last month we saw a preliminary plat on two parcels that were attached to each other, or separated by the trail, that the developers proposed to develop as single-family homes. This parcel, this back part of it, 25 acres, was RP1 as a result of, I think basically when Mike Riley brought it in, and he was going to do some variety of housing lot sizes and stuff before we had modified our zoning ordinance. And so that would have required a public hearing, and it wasn't scheduled for last month, so we couldn't approve that part. The developer has decided to request R2, a single-family zoning district, which is the same as the land, most of the land around it, land north of it in the Fairway Estates is multifamily, but it has some restrictions, so it is developed as a single-family. And that's about it. I'll ask the staff, do you have any comments you want to make before we open the public hearing?
I think you did an excellent job of laying out where we are right now. I just want to emphasize that this was rezoned, and I'll pull up the zoning map here just so people can get an idea. So the developer, as you said, submitted a preliminary plat for these three parcels, 1, 2, and 3. And that was approved conditionally by the Planning Commission last month. And the condition was that it was approved based off of the developer coming and getting a rezoning for this parcel here, which is zoned R2P. The prior, just to explain how this works, there is a mechanism in most cities' regulation, and this is for the benefit of the Planning Commission and then also the crowd here tonight, because I know that there's some questions about this. In most zoning regulations and subdivision regulations in a city, there will be a mechanism called a planned unit development or something to that effect that essentially enables a developer to come to the city and say, city, I want to do a multi-use development, a single-family neighborhood, but your current zoning regulations don't allow that the way that I want to build it. And so the developer will request a rezone to a planned development, and essentially works with the city, the staff, the Planning Commission, the City Council to write their own zoning regulation for that specific piece of land. And that's what Mr. Riley did in what I think it was about 2017, 2018, to finish out Fairway Estates to the south. Mr. Riley did not develop out this property and has since sold it to Circle H. And they sit here tonight and will be able to answer some questions if you have them. And the Circle H came in with an idea. They have a certain style of business that they want to run, development style that they want to run, and that didn't match with what Mr. Riley had gotten approval for. So therefore, as they've brought in their new plat, which was again conditionally approved last month, they also need to rezone this property. And so I hope that as we enter into the public hearing portion that kind of lays the groundwork for why we're here and why we're looking at this rezoning. It would enable the development of the parcel as outlined in this plat, which was submitted and approved last month. So that is all that I have. Mr. Geese.
Thank you. The developer is Circle C, I think, not Circle H.
Circle H.
It is?
Yes. There's an error someplace in the county's matrix of information.
it's in that.
So,
It's correct. Actually, this week they corrected it.
okay, hey,
So
well,
it's
there we
correct.
go. Okay, Circle H Holdings LLC out. So,
Also, back to the zoning map.
Yes.
When Riley had it, didn't he change it from multifamily to R2P?
that is something I believe so. As you can see, this is technically everything north of this yellow is and orange is R4, which is multifamily. And so, I'm not saying that this has been presented or will be presented, but should somebody want to compile a number of these lots, by law, by right, they would be able to put a apartment building on that, or some variation
The
thereof.
subdivision covenants would prevent it, but it still might be helpful.
Right.
Even for the city to initiate a change.
Potentially, I've seen what it's, and you've seen what it takes to get the city to forcibly rezone, but I don't think we're going to do that anytime soon. But yeah, just so we are clear, this was zoned as R4 at one point. So
Okay. Do the developers want to speak anything up front, or do you want to answer questions if the audience has some questions, or how would you like to proceed? You're welcome to make a presentation. A lot of the people may have been here last month. I know there are some, I see some new faces.
Okay. Roman Hahn, owner of Circle H, not Circle C, but Circle H Land Development. I won't do a presentation because I think a month ago we went through quite a bit of this. But I think the statement is we've been working with the city on this for well over a year. I think now about 14 or 16 months. The two that are already zoned in the correct zoning, I think overshadowed. I think maybe in your side to where they just I think assumed that everything was. And so normally you would do your rezoning before you would do a preliminary plat, but it was discovered that this back piece that we're talking about tonight was actually the day before our approval last month. Josh had gave me the phone call and said, hey, this is actually not what we thought it was, which is why we had to come back for this. And so this isn't a Circle H trying to rearrange the way things are done. This was just, I think, an oversight on the city's side, and so we're just here to correct it now. But I'll stop there, and if there's comments, I'll sit down, and then I'll be glad to stand up and answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you.
But thank you for the chance to talk.
It is 7:09, and I'm going to open the public hearing. If you'd like to speak, please use the podium, sign in I think the pad is on the podium, and give us your name and address. Who would like to speak? Or if you have questions, or...
I'm Don Wallace, 987 Pebble Beach Drive, and I noticed that my name's the only one on here. So I guess that's me.
Well, they can sign.
And I have a lot of questions. I think I spoke with Josh on the phone when I first got my notice in the mail. We live on Pebble Beach Drive. And we're the triangular shaped 1/4 from the end on Pebble Beach over here, right? Yeah, we're the kind of the triangular shaped one. No, to the left.
On the west side, about 4 houses up.
west side.
West side.
Yeah, you just went by it.
I don't
Right there.
Listen. Hey, look, there's a Wallace.
There we are. And I have a whole bunch of questions, and I was thinking that perhaps they would be answered before I got up here to talk, but he didn't say much, so. Now, that area there, that where Pebble Beach Drive stops and starts again here, is Pebble Beach Drive going to go all the way through that?
Yes, sir.
And it doesn't show any development right there.
Well, tonight's action is a rezoning action. There was a preliminary plat tentatively approved on that parcel before. Josh had it on the screen earlier. You want to look at it again, I guess we can put it up again. But I mean, obviously it could even be changed, but this is a rezoning only. It's not, there you go. See it? And you're,
He's not on that.
Very top.
no, but he's up.
He's up very top.
Yeah, yeah, you're up
That's
there.
him.
And that's the proposed layout, the street layout.
So I'm not sure what I'm here for. If I think maybe these guys should talk and we would better understand what it's about. Because my questions all have to do with the development itself.
So let me propose this. And as Roman mentioned, like in an ideal world, we would have had this rezoning done last month with the preliminary plat. Staff error. It was my fault. We didn't get that on the books the way we needed to. So this plat has been approved already. I would be happy to talk to you about what was approved. However, we're here to discuss the rezone portion of this and the rezone portion of it only.
Okay.
But I would be glad to sit down with you after the meeting and talk about what has been presented, what has been approved, and what we can, question your questions about the rezoning or the development. Sorry, not the
I think
rezoning.
probably all of us have questions regarding what's going to happen with the development, but this isn't the time nor the place,
Right.
so.
So what?
Is there going to be another meeting?
The next meeting will be the city council, where so the planning commission recommends yes or no, approval or disapproval to the city council. The city council makes the determination on the actual rezoning. And that would go before the council. We're planning for that on the 18th of September. One way or the other, whether or not they recommend approval or denial, it will be heard on the 18th of September, is the plan, the city council.
So there's no meetings where we're going to find out what's really going to go on?
Wait, the developer would talk to you after the meeting.
Yep, there's
I'm not
that,
sure what
and then
the
we've
questions
also, as Mr. Hahn mentioned, we have been working with Circle H for a number of months, and what we've encouraged and they agreed to, and actually I think there's probably their idea, to have a neighborhood meeting to discuss what is going to happen. That has not been set yet, but they wanted to get through this meeting first, and then we were going to set
And we'll be notified of that meeting,
we
the
can.
neighborhood meeting?
I think people should sign up if they want to be,
That-
because it'll be
yep.
difficult if.
Yep, we could. What we could do is, well, I'm not gonna say that right now, but we can figure out a way to potentially notify.
I suspect we could get the developer to pledge to that tonight.
Yes, we've agreed to that, and I'm happy to, we don't have to wait till then. I don't want to
Yeah.
play with your agenda tonight, but if you want me to stand and answer questions, I'll answer as many questions as we have. It's up to you on how you want to.
Well, if it's just a few questions and they're
Sir.
easy to answer,
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
So are you just wanting to know, are they going to put single-family homes in there?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
wanting to know,
Thank
basically?
you.
Those
Nancy.
kinds of things, but
Yeah.
I think we all have, those of us who live there
Right.
have concerns.
Right, and I think he can, that's what they brought to us last time, was the fact that they're going to be single-family homes. They've assured everybody they're keeping the walking trail. They're trying to keep as many trees that's there to keep it as close to as what it is right now, to keep the area the way it is for you, but they will be developing it, with single-family homes, so.
Thank you, Nancy. So we'll just kind of walk through what we see here on the plat. This is a 45, in total, there's 45 acres to be developed. The city regulations require a 12% of the developed subdivision to maintain some sort of open space. And I believe that here under tract area, there's 6.97, so that's 15%. So they've already gone above and beyond. Something that is a big topic of conversation is Winslow Trail. So you are aware, Winslow Trail sits on city right-of-way. It is the city's already, they can't touch it, and they don't want to, because it is an amenity that they get to be able to help tie in and continue to connect the neighborhood and connect Lansing. 194 lots are proposed. That's a pretty good number. That number can change, typically down, just as they get into the development process, but 194 is probably going to be where they land. The average lot size is 6,578 square feet. And then they're planning on phasing from west to east over the course of about 6 years, or 4 years, 5 years of development?
Yeah.
5 years of development from west to east, so coming off of DeSoto first, 64 lots, 63, and then 67. As was questioned, Pebble Beach will continue. That has always been the plan. If you look at the map now, Pebble Beach is stubbed out going north out of the Maples and going south out of the Fairway Estates. There's going to be a continuation of Oakmont Drive here to the northeast, and then obviously they will connect to DeSoto over here to the west as well. There will be an HOA. That will be their own separate HOA, and I've also heard questions about the naming convention. It is not named for President Monroe, but it is named for family of the Hans. So just in case you were questioning that too, because the city has had that question ourselves. So.
And Ledbetter is not the golfer.
And Ledbetter is not the golfer. Yeah, thank you. I forgot. We talked about that last week as well. So that's what broad, 15,000 foot view of the development, and that's about all I know.
About drainage, you might mention.
Drainage is always a part of the discussions with the preliminary plat that has been reviewed by Public Works and accepted. There's a proposed detention basin here on tract C, so the pond would be here. There would be another drainage area here. So that's kind of where we stand. So like I said, the Planning Commission heard this last month due to staff oversight, staff error, mine. We are doing this rezoning tonight as opposed to last month. And so that's where we stand. We are still in the public hearing phase of this rezoning. So if there was other questions, other things that you would like to say, this is the time to do that. If you have anything else you would like to say about the project or the rezoning.
Or if anybody else does.
Yeah.
In terms of the drainage, the retention will hold back the water so that the only amount coming into the pond and Fairway Estates will be the amount of water that goes there now. That's the way it's engineered. Mm-hmm. That's a requirement. That's a city requirement.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Hi there. How you doing? I'm at 981 Pebble Beach, which is the last home before the development.
West side of Pebble Beach, the last house to the south, right there.
Yeah. And my biggest question is drainage from that area, because there is a small semi-creek that's running along the south of my property. And they talk about a spring somewhere in that vicinity that has water access. And it comes down, I want to make sure that I have a wall which protects my home from the other drainage that comes off that side. And I want to make sure that whatever's going in those homes on that side, I see 3 plots, if I'm correct, that are right next to my home. So there's 3 that are on that side. And I just want to make sure that whatever the drainage is, it's not going to go my way,
John, is your lot lower than that land or higher?
lower.
Okay, I think they
Because I have a retaining
Right,
wall.
and their engineer is here, so maybe they can answer that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all along that side, and I'm sure I've seen people in that area marking stakes and everything else that's been going on. I just obviously want to make sure
Sure,
that
I understand.
that stays.
I understand.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to that? I mean,
And
is it possible for us to
Yeah, go ahead,
respond?
go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
respond.
Almost. When originally I talked to Riley, our property, I've had to remove trees that are actually off of that property because they were hanging over my house. Now I'm at the stage after I've been there 10 years, it looks like I'm going to be slicing, trees off. I've had 1 tree already fall in my house. It's been 2 years ago. Roof damage, replaced the roof, all the patio was damaged, patio furniture on the back from that one tree. And this was back a ways, not near the property line. And I'm really concerned about those trees right now. And that, something needs to be done with those trees on the edge. Are those going to stay, or what's going to happen to those?
What I would suggest, Chairman and Hans and Ben, on Gasper, but Ben's anyway. I would suggest we kind of get questions out. We close the public hearing, and then the developer can respond to the questions, and then we can finish up the meeting. So that's what I would suggest. Chairman.
I think that the developer's engineer will probably agree to meet you out there at some point.
Okay, that sounds good.
Am I saying that correctly? Will that?
He will now.
Because it is, I was aware of those trees before, and so I think that's a valid question. And I'm sure that a lot of trees are going to come down. And whether those need to or not, I don't know. They would be on a back lot line, so
Right.
Yeah.
they'll probably utilities back
And I
there.
think that, go ahead.
Last month, we talked a lot about keeping the trees on, with the tree preservation easement on the back lines, specifically to be able to protect the existing development from the
This
new.
doesn't go off against the trail or anything.
No,
Correct.
it's-
Yeah.
But, so-
Obviously, you don't want to cut trees you don't have to.
So, again, not to step on Mr. Geese's role here, but if there's other questions, the city welcomes them. If there's other things that members of the community would like to ask now, let's
maybe-
kind of compile that list so we can respond to it all at one time.
Mr. Geese, maybe it'd be also helpful to the people that want to speak that really this is a zoning issue.
Right.
This isn't a plat, this isn't time to discuss what kind of houses are going to be on the property. It's whether or not the zoning is appropriate for what the developer is trying to do. If there's questions afterward and they want to answer them, that's fine, but for purposes of this body, it's just to determine whether or not to take public comment in reference to the zoning issue alone and not because again, to that, I didn't catch his name, but when it comes to drainage, and as you know, that comes later when the engineering plans are developed and then they start
Well, I
moving
think-
forward, so.
I think their concern, of course, is that this is the only public hearing, this is the only time they really have a chance to. Comes later, but it doesn't come later before then.
Right.
But, I
So
mean,
with-
but again,
within reason, I'll accept your comments and questions. So if anybody else wants to speak.
Do I have to give up? I just-
Yes.
I-
I'm sorry.
I do have to know. I just want to make sure I understood. So please don't think I'm stupid or anything. It's my understanding. Zone for single dwelling, not the apartment going up from here.
we're still in public comment, so ma'am, could you state your name?
Carol.
she's signing in, anybody else have any?
Thanks.
And ma'am, you might restate your, I mean, just to make sure you got picked up, because you were back there, so if you want to just, if you want to make a record of what you said, you might say it again.
My name's Carol Burke. I actually don't live in Pebble Beach, I live on Highland, but we're butted up against that development. So I just want to make sure, That I understood.
R1 is a single-family zoning district.
okay, that's all I want to make sure, that for sure,
Yeah.
there's no apartments going in there.
That's true.
No
R-
town.
I'm sorry, R2. There are two, R1 is a single-family, R2, which is what this is a single-family dwelling.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm going, it's 7:26, and I'm going to close the public hearing. I suspect that the developer will stick around, not 2 or 3 hours, but a little bit after the meeting. I'll open the discussion to the staff, to the planning commission.
Could we first let the engineer talk a little bit about the
yeah.
drainage situation?
Sure.
And what they presented and what, state law requires for drainage? Well,
Okay.
Ben Gasper with SMH Consultants. We are helping Circle H put this together, and essentially we've put a preliminary development plan together, or preliminary plat together, along with a traffic study, drainage study, utilities, storm, water, sanitary, all the proposed areas, and a grading plan for all of this. Our concern would also be draining stormwater. We don't want to drain water on anybody's property because that liability comes back to us. So our goal is to keep all the stormwater on our site and drain it properly to the areas it needs to be drained. We don't want to drain the lots we're developing. We don't want water to flood them, and we don't want water to flood on neighboring properties either, because that creates a mess in the long run as well. So our goal is to collect all the water, collect it to inlets, collect it to the road, eventually take it to stormwater ponds, where it will be contained until it's slowly released back into the large pond that's existing over there.
Thank you.
And as for the trees, I think we're going to take out minimal trees along the area. We did agree to a 20-foot conservation buffer around the perimeter of the lot, so there's not much we can do in that area now, unless there's some dead trees or something back there, but we are trying to save as many trees around the perimeter of the property to keep the wooded feeling of the area.
Regarding trees, do I have to sign in or just directly question?
I'm trying to close the public hearing. Why don't you talk to them after the meeting, if you're going to ask about the
Okay,
meeting.
sorry.
This is a rezoning. The opportunity,
yeah.
the planning commission have any comments or questions? Okay, have we all had an opportunity to review the golden factors and the other considerations in the staff report? Does anyone want to make a motion? I think Josh had some recommended motions or some wording that you could use if you want to pick one of those factors. He's got it on the screen.
I'm going to recommend approval of case number 2025 BEV 010 based on the staff's recommendation and analysis of the golden factors.
Do I have a second? I have a second. Motion and second to approve based upon the findings of fact in the staff report and the golden factors. Are there any questions or comments on the motion? If not, I'll call the roll. I'd like to call the roll.
Ginger Riddle,
Yes.
Jeanette LeBee Holdeman,
Yes.
Brian Payne,
Yes.
Jerry Geese,
Yes.
Nancy McDougal,
Yes.
Richard Hannon.
Yes. My guess is that some of your questions the audience, I don't know, but because there won't be another public hearing, the process is a rezoning requires a public hearing. The plating process does not. And we had a public hearing last month on the preliminary plat and did entertain quite a few questions, not that we were required to, because you weren't notified and so forth. There will be another action and another public hearing on this, however. The developer is proposing to develop it as an RHID district. which is the tax transfer, using the taxes for development costs. And that is a public hearing, but it won't be before us, it'll be before the city commission. And I think it's September 18th. You
You
will
are
not
correct.
individually be notified because it's not like the law on a zoning. Anybody within 200 feet has to be notified. Some of you are within 200 feet and probably received notification, but if you're further, you were not. The land was posted. So if you had questions about the development, I think that would, I'm going to assume the city council would entertain your questions. I can't speak for them, but that will be a public input type of meeting.
Yeah.
And I think if you have quick questions, the developer's going to stay after the meeting to answer. Okay.
Just with the notes are public record, they can be processed from last meeting.
Oh, yeah.
For the video.
Yeah. Or-
Our minutes are online, so if you want to hear or read what was said by some of the citizens,
And,
some of you were here, a lot of the new faces,
Yep.
but you can go online and read last month's minutes also.
Yep.
Oh,
Or you can watch the meeting. The meetings are on YouTube at this point.
or you can watch the meeting.
Yeah, if you,
No, our meeting?
yeah.
Where's
There
the
now.
camera?
There. Has been surprised since I've been here,
I'm
2.5
gonna
years.
have to start dressing up. Greg, should we start dressing up? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Notice in communications, anybody have anything that, not related to the agenda you want to bring up?
I'm going to touch on that. You all received an email with the certified copy of the public hearing, the resolution. Yes, the resolution that was passed on the 7th, I believe, notifying you that there is a public hearing on Monroe Manor, this development, that the city council will be hearing on September 18th for the RHID, the approval of that. I should also tell you that if you have not heard, there was a prior RHID project that was brought before the city council. You were notified. That has been vetoed by the county, and so that project is dead in the water at this point. So that will not be coming back before us as a rezoning or a plat or anything. So at this point. And other than that, that is all I have.
Motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.